Try to stand as far away as possible from the maximize as possible so we can get the echo. Test 1 2 1 2. Welcome to Valentine Sports Park. Round 4 actions. NPL match of the round. Sutherland Sharks versus Sydney Olympic. Both sides very improved from last season. Sutherland Sharks currently undefeated at the moment. 2 wins, 1 draw to start their campaign. Sydney Olympic, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 draw, only 2 goals in their first. Welcome to Valentine Sports Park for the round 4 match of the round. It's the resurgent Sutherland Sharks hosting Sydney Olympic. Thank you for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. I'm Dominic Cronidi. Very honoured to have your company tonight on this Saturday night on what's been a jam-packed Saturday evening of NPL New South Wales action. So we've had a kick-off every half an hour or so the last 5 matches. Plenty of action yesterday. Of course, big Super Saturday today and one final game tomorrow to round out round 4. But all eyes are on this one now. It's the match of the round. Sutherland Sharks initially slated to host this one at Shark Park in the Shire at 4:30 and moved now to 7:30 kickoff at Valentine Sports Park, which has to be noted is a much more friendlier time for the weather. About an hour ago, it was one of the hottest days in recent memory, and since the sun has dropped, it is nice and chilly here at Valentine Sports Park, which I'm sure everyone is a big fan of, presumably the players for the most part. So we'll get to the starting lineups in just a moment, but start with our officials. Leading the charge today, Ivica Kovic. Sideline officials, Joshua Isa, Matthew Harris, and the 4th official is Owen Medcalf. So a few changes for both sides after different games last week, if you will. Obviously both sides going through a bit of a slight injury crisis, if you will, in the early stages of the season. Sydney Olympic losing a few veteran players, which gives their young squad, their younger looking squad this year, it must be said, in 2025, a bit of a chance to shine, whilst the Sharks arguably been one of the surprise sides this season after struggling a bit last year. They've come good near the top of the ladder, and they're joined by a few other teams who weren't expected to be there this early in the season, but such is the NPL, how quickly things can change. So we're about to get underway here for our match of the round here, round 4. Be sure to follow our socials, NPL New South Wales, get some behind the scenes action on our stories and a post-game interview. We're underway at Valentine Sports Park. Sydney Olympic first kick of the game goes astray, and we hope for their sake that is not a sign of things to come. Disappointing one there from Teng Kuo. As the poor, looks like the cameraman on the sideline there's had to fetch the ball at VSP. Does well. Pat on the back for him. But we'll get to the starting lineups, starting with the host, Steve Zorich's side, the Sutherland Sharks. Their starting lineup looks like this. Number 1, Daniel Nizic. Number 3, Jordan Roberts. Number 5, Takahide Umbache. Number 6, Mo Adam. Number 7, Peter Grossos. First chance of the game here for Olympic. Nizic comes out early. It's a penalty 40 seconds into the game. Unbelievable scenes to start this one. It was Cyrus Deme through on goal out of absolutely nothing, showing how easily he can break open a game. And Nizic met him there, and it was almost immediate appeals from the Olympic side and awarded just as quickly from Ivica Kovic. Nizic is down, grasping a knee, but the man who won the penalty, Cyrus Deme, likely to be the one to step up and put Olympic into an early lead if he can find the back of the net. Who would have thought this? 90 seconds into the match of the round, and Olympic gifted a chance at the first goal of the game. Steps up, it's a great save by Nizic. Rebound in the back of the net. Olympic lead this one just under 2 minutes in. And Teng Kuo breathes a massive sigh of relief. Fantastic save by Nizic on the first penalty, but it just fell perfectly to Kuo. It was an awkward touch with his chest, but just a bit of power from that range, and it's unlikely to miss. And Teng Kuo gets Sydney Olympic's first goal in well over 180 minutes of football. It's Sydney Olympic 1, Sutherland Sharks 0. We haven't even finished the starting lineups. Hopefully a sign of things to come. Plenty of action, surely. Nizic's just one of those ones you just can't do anything about. He is one of the premier shot stoppers in this league. And he showed his worth there with a fantastic penalty save. It has to be said, but just didn't work out for him in the end. The former Sydney United 58, MacArthur Bull goalkeeper. Ten Qual gets his first goal for the season. So now that we might have a slight break in play, it's time to finish off their starting lineups, which we only did get halfway through, in all fairness. So finishing off the starting lineup for Steve Zoricic's Sutherland Sharks: number 7, Peter Grossos; number 10, Maki Petrados; number 12, Iko Ihode Aramoto; number 14, Dylan Susovic; number 21, Jerry Skotadis; number 22, Kataro Katsuta; and rounding out the starting lineup, number 58, Daniel Wong. Joint top goal scorer for the Sharks this season alongside Petrados. And on the bench for the Sharks, number 8, Nicholas Sullivan; number 20, Jacob Trezaglavic; number 13, Sebastian Arans; number 39, Lucas Jackson; number 87, Thomas Stoborowski. Now a chance for Wong to go the other way now. Down the line, cuts it in, and looking for a corner, and they'll get it. Sharks hit the first corner of the game. Plenty of appeals the other way from Sydney Olympic. We're adamant that it bounced back off Wong. And it was Zach Zoricic who fended that one out for a corner. And it looks like Wong's gone down and will need a bit of treatment. That's not going to go down well with Zoricic. Speaking to Steve Zorich before the game, he was noting his injury woes, missing 3 players from last week's team. Mason Fernandez going down with a pulled hamstring that he suffered in that game. The game last week, just after scoring the goal. And Lachlan McDonald rolling his ankle at training midweek, sent off for scans. So wishing all the best there for Lachlan McDonald, and Steve emphasising his presence on the team and how important he is. And Sharks could be forced into a pretty early substitution here. His injury woes could continue. Ball straight into the middle, headed back and away. And it was a good one in the end, just not on target. And he knows it. Harimoto, that left back up for a corner. It's pretty rare that you see that, to be honest. Usually the left and right back forced to stay behind on set piece duties. They get to tackle the game, and the centre halves get to go up for the set pieces in substitute. So 6 minutes in and we still haven't got to the Sydney Olympic lineup. There's been plenty of action to start this one, but we'll get to that now. And Lavinot Haliti goes with this starting lineup. It's been pretty consensus throughout the year. In goals, number 1, Jack Gibson; number 3, Connor O'Toole; number 5, Ian Gordon; number 8, Sam Mickelhaddon; number 9, Cyrus Demi, the goal scorer; number 10, Jack Armson; number 12, Zach Zoricic; number 14, Seth Clark; number 15, Dylan Ruiz-Diaz; number 18, 10 Qual; and number 28, Donny Grdic. Rounds out the starting lineup for the visitors. And on the bench, experienced number 11, Adam Parkhouse; number 13, Monty Partington; number 16, Bailey Callahan; number 17, Josh Hong; and number 19, Gianni DiPizio. Rounds out that starting lineup for this youthful-looking Sydney Olympic as one of the most experienced campaigners in this competition. Ziggy Gordon gets rid of that one. So it looks like the Sharks, who have been playing with 10 men for the last couple of minutes or so, if you haven't noticed, they'll be making an early substitution, and it looks like it's going to be Daniel Wong who will have to make way. I think to succumb to that injury. And it's going to be Nicholas Sullivan to replace him. So 7 minutes in, they've using up an early sub, and see what Sullivan can do. He's got close to 80 minutes to prove his worth. Be interesting to see if there's any formational change there. Grossos looks to remain out on the left. Petrados remaining as the sole number 9 by the looks of it for now, but free kick the way of Sydney Olympic. Good ball in, and Quoll heads it into the path, and it's another goal for Sydney Olympic. Or is it? We called the early crow. It was offside. Great finish in the end there. Looked like it was, couldn't tell, might have been Zorosic or Seth Clark out on the left there. But it was Quoll that rose highest. Beautiful header on. I think it was Seth Clark out on the left there with the luscious locks to show for it. Great finish, and Sharks under a bit of pressure here. Losing that momentum basically from the jump after conceding that early penalty. And can they find one back here after that scare? Another corner goes the way of the host now. Just about everyone up. It's going to be Grossos on corner duties now with Wong out. 2-10 to split the duties in their round 1 clash with Sydney United. Grossos to the front stick, cleared away very easily by Deme. Back in there, and it was a solid ball back into the middle. But the Sharks will reset now with Nizic. It's great playing out with his feet. Just another additional skill set that makes him such a good goalkeeper in this league. It's that one that bounced a little bit too high for Grossos, who made waves out there on the right. Kind of stays left for most of the game, but does tend to drift into the middle. With a utility forward role in that sense. Now the Sharks the other way with numbers. Grossos looks up, has a shot, just goes wide of the back stick. And the first shot across the barrel from the Sharks there. Great on the counter-attack. Ball away there from Jack Gibson, one of the new signings in this Sydney Olympic side. One of many, it should be said. Labanot Haliti, obviously, with a bit of a focus on the championship season at the end of this NPL New South Wales men's season in 2025. Still got a few of familiar faces from last year. It's Quoll with a great ball out wide to Zorosic. The battle of the 12s on the right side. Ali Motor getting the better of Zorosic there. Now at the back, but under a bit of pressure with Petrados lying deep. Now out to Ziggy Gordon. Nickel Haddon, the newly crowned skipper of this side in 2025. And a long clearance by Nizic to get that one out of danger, but it might not be for long. Ball poked forward there by Sullivan. And Petrados now has got space, but just doesn't have the reinforcements that he'd probably like. Out in the corner now is Susovic. Skatadis now with Adimoto. Two very high quality sides with the ball at their feet. Sydney Olympic and the Sutherland Sharks. And Cyprus Demi wins back. It's a poorly placed back pass. Demi's through on goal. Goes himself and finds the bottom corner. Sydney Olympic are up 2-0. What a finish by their number 9. And 12 minutes in, Sydney Olympic double their advantage. What a run and an even better finish by Cyrus Demi. Fantastic finish. Cutting on his left. He had Seth Clark on the left, who might have been open by the time he got there, but just wasn't worth the risk there. And all of a sudden, Sydney Olympic 2-0 up. Taking both of their 2 chances incredibly well. And after not scoring in their previous 2 matches, they're back 2 in 13 minutes. And now you can sense a bit of a momentum shift after that. Poorly placed back pass was just taken away by Demi, but this is an even better run, it must be said, by Skatadis into Petratos, and another corner won by the Sharks. What a topsy-turvy game this has been. Not even a quarter of the way through. It looks like Adi Moto will be on corner duties for the left side with Wong off. Good ball into the back stick. Open header. And a blown chance there for the Sharks to scratch their way back at this 2-goal deficit. Disappointing effort in the end there by Mo Ahmed. It's been a rock at the back to start this season for the Sharks, but it just seems like that injury toll might just be catching up to the Sharks after a stunning start to the season, really. Impressed so many, and pretty unlucky to not be completely undefeated as an extraordinary effort from, say, about 30 metres out. Wasn't really close in the end, but credit for trying. Credit where credit's due there. It was Ruiz Diaz, the former Central Coast Mariner, spent a bit of time in Brazil before joining up with Olympic. Obviously, as you said at the top here, a few experienced campaigners no longer around. Obviously, top of that list, Roy O'Donovan, one of the best goal scorers this country's seen in all competitions, and giving the NPL away after last season, after a successful run with Sydney Olympic after a storied A-League career. Free kick goes the way of Olympic, but they found a pretty good replacement, it has to be said, in Cyrus Demi. If you want to chalk that first goal up as an assist, you could really, because he got the penalty 40 seconds into the game. It was finished off by Tang Kuo in the end, and that sensational finish just a couple of minutes ago. Let's give Olympic a 2-0 lead. Be sensational if both sides could keep this pace up for the entirety of the game. We'd have such a thrilling and entertaining game on the match of the round, and the football gods always find their way, and they've picked a stunner for the match of the round here. Sutza pops up possession, but a bit of a hospital pass, if you will, from Skatadis, who's had a very good start to the game. So it looks like Sullivan has drifted into that number 10 role, as Grossos staying left, where he does his best work. Demi's through again and showing what he can do with a bit of space. Seth Clark All the way down the byline, tries to get it in, but couldn't get the angle on it. And Nizic gobbles that one up pretty easily. Clark drifting all the way from left to right there to make that run. It looks like they might have switched sides, the two wingers. Grossos now with Arimoto. His action slows down, good chance to go around the grounds. Last night, obviously, we had a 0-0 draw with Manly United and Sydney FC. Earlier today, Mount Druitt suffering a late blow in the 94th minute. Zoricic in the foul there, but got ball first, but did take a bit of Peter Grossos with him as well. Steve Zorich not happy about it. As I said, yeah, Rockdale Linden getting a 3-2 win over Mount Druitt. They scored in the 89th minute to level at Mount Druitt. And then it was Isaac Danzo in the 94th minute who won it for last year's grand finalists. And Sydney United got a 2-0 win over the Western Sydney Wanderers as the Northwest Sydney Spirit is 4-0. They are flying to start this season, and they remain top of the ladder. As two other games in process right now. Wollongong Wolves leading Central Coast Mariners 2-1, and it is 0-0 between Marconi and St. George FC. Back to the action now, Valentine Sports Park. Skatardis' ball at the back stick. Gibson got a fist to it, and it's going to be another corner for the Sharks. Dominated that category so far with 4 to start in the opening 20 minutes. Grossos taking his time to get to this one, giving his side a bit of a chance to catch their breath, set themselves up, and possibly try and pick something out from the training paddock here. Referee picking up a little bit of a scuffle here in the penalty box. A little trend that's picked up dramatically in the last couple of years, just putting a body on the keeper, trying to irritate him as much as they can, as they always tend to come out with a big strong fist, trying to get rid of the danger from these corners. Grossos right into the path of the keeper, and a late head away probably saved Olympic blushes of conceding from a Peter Grossos corner. Back-to-back set pieces now for the Sharks. Good ball in, and as you said, it's probably something that they worked on in the training ground. Putting a bit of pressure on the keeper and just going for goal, but 2 or 3 men at the back stick guarding that. Ball in deep at the back stick. Arimoto had a good stab at it, but just mistimed his header. Ball in, chested away by Quo as he looks to find Deme, but wrong side of the field. But I think for Olympic there was just get it out of danger. The Sharks a chance to regather. Peter Grossos and Katsuta. Skatardis. Ahmed. Arimoto out wide. Grossos outstretched a little bit too much, and Olympic getting away with one there. Get the ball back. Hoping to retain their 2-goal lead as much as they can, and haven't had an abundance of attacking chances. It's been pretty clear, but when given the chance, they've taken it. Long throw to Deme, who chests it down brilliantly, and now out wide. Sydney Olympic a chance with quite a few numbers in the box. O'Toole. 1-2 flicked away. Good clearance in the end there by the Sharks defence. Right back at it with Mikkel Adden and Gordon. Such an expansive formation this by Olympic. Both fullbacks forward. Great ball. Deme, air swing almost fell perfectly for Ruiz Diaz. Resetting now is Qual. Michael Haddon. Grdic hasn't had much of a say with the ball, but getting a lot more involved now. They've tended to favour this right side. Zoric, Gordon, Deme floating in and around. Ruiz Diaz is there as well. Jack Armson, the highly touted recruit from RPL Leichhardt, try to play that ball through, and Deme just a little bit too keen to get onto that one, fouling in the process, and the Sharks getting the ball back with a free kick. So it's been all the new recruits today, essentially, for Sydney Olympic, doing the work, obviously starting in goals with Jack Gibson, signing from the Western Sydney Wanderers. Seth Clark, the Northern New South Wales NPL Player of the Year for 2024, showing what he can do when given a bit of space out on the left and or right. Of course, Dylan Ruiz Diaz, formerly of the Central Coast Mariners, after a short stint in Brazil. Connor O'Toole signing from Western United. Tom Whiffen, not in the lineup today, but finally routed out by Josh Hong, who spent time in both the Western Sydney Wanderers and Central Coast Academies. But another corner here for the Sharks. They're 6th of the game. Looked dangerous from their last one. And they build on that momentum and start to chip away at this 2-goal deficit. Crosses ball directly at the keeper. It's spilled by Gibson, and Arimoto rifles it into the roof of the net. And the Sharks are right back in this one. Fantastic finish, given the circumstances. It popped up immediately and absolutely hammered it into the roof of the net. Arimoto gets his first of the season, and it's 2-1 now in favour of the visitors, Sydney Olympic. Well, if anyone's aware of how quickly a 2-goal lead can go, it's the Sharks. Obviously in round 1 against Sydney United, they were dominating the fixture for the most part, and 6 minutes to go, conceded 2 late goals. A bit of a tussle in the middle of the field here between Teng Kuo and Jerry Skatardis. Cooler heads seem to prevail as the referee assesses his options here. The 4th official and linesman convening as well. All sets of referees there involved, happy not to issue any cards. And it's going to be a free kick for the Sharks, and it's where they've looked most dangerous so far tonight. Actually scoring from one a couple of minutes ago, and Peter Grossos has found the sweet spot. Grossos, deep ball in. Arimoto's almost onto it again. That connection's been so deadly for the Sharks from set pieces tonight. It's already ended up in 1 goal, and you wonder if they get a couple more corners, how many more chances like that they're going to get. Positive signs for the hosts. Going to turn the tide in this one. Very high press from the Sharks in defence. Bit of miscommunication there. Sees Deme get onto that bouncing ball. Clark looking to take Arimoto on. Looks at the back stick. Kuo heads it back in the middle. It's a goal kick for the Sharks at the end of it. Good little spell there from Olympic in attack. Haven't had the chance to flex their attacking muscle last little period or so with the Sharks finding all the momentum. Out from the back now, Skatardis, good ball over the top. Petrados shifting out wide, cutting back into the middle now. It's got help in the form of Adimoto. Switching sides now. Cross back centrally with Ahmed. Now Skatardis, who's very deep. Going to set something up here for the Sharks. Katsuta playing that one across to Mubachi, who was implored to go forward with the space that he was given. But this time shut down pretty quickly by Jack Armson. Such a shocking move, that one. No one really seen that one coming. They kept it hidden and announced it on Boxing Day of all days. Big move from RPL Leichhardt, where he'd had so much success as the club's number 10, and Olympic needed to fill a big hole, big shoes to fill, and they've got the right player for it in Armson. Straight pass out wide. Bit of space to move if they want to shift it across now. Mumbache's very advanced with Skatardis now. Early ball in. Just a foot away there from Donny Gridic. And another corner for the Sharks. 7 first half quarters. Throw that in with a couple free kicks from close range, and you can see why the Sharks in favour in this set piece routine tonight. Grossos directly on target again, but headed away this time. But Olympic pushing plenty of numbers forward, looking to break away on the counter-attacks. How they got their first 2 goals. Wouldn't mind a third, would they? Looking for the early ball to find Susovic, but wasn't successful. A chance to reset, though. Katsuta. Cross now, Skatardis. Seen the hand up of Susovic, try to go over the top. Shielded away pretty well, but never really any danger for Sydney Olympic in their 2-1 lead. Half an hour gone here at Valentine Sports Park. It's been a significant improvement from both sides, it has to be said, performance-wise, comparative to last season. No more than the Sharks, obviously fighting off relegation last year up until the last couple of days. But they've got high ambitions this year, and they've got a squad that can match those ambitions. Trying to play some one-touch football out from the back there. Olympic a little bit too fast, and the Sharks are the beneficiary of that. Arimoto. Pass goes a bit wayward, and Seth Clark working really hard to recover his touch there as Grossos battling hard with Zoricic, takes out Ziggy Gordon on the way. And we might have our first card of the game here. Kovic just having a word to Peter Grossos. Probably nothing more than a warning here. Crowd probably not too happy with no card being issued, but it's the way the referee's going. The other game simultaneously playing. It's Marconi with a 1-0 lead over St. George FC. Saints. That's at half-time. It's a beautiful ball through here. Armson plays it across. Deme makes it 3. He's got his second of the game. And Sydney Olympic, they can't stop scoring this game. All 3 goals out of absolutely nothing. Sydney Olympic showing how lethal they can be when given the chances. And their number 9, Cyrus Demi, not taking any chances for granted. He's buried his first 2, and it is 3-1 Sydney Olympic. When you lose someone like Rory O'Donovan last season, you think sometimes you might never find as a good a goal scorer as him, but Deme showing the part tonight, that's for sure. First 2 goals of the season for him, and that'd be such a relief as a striker to just finally get those 2 off the board and tend to see the floodgates open after that. And the Sharks probably thinking to themselves, how are they down 3-1 when they've had their fair share of chances? Good defending, it must be said, by Sydney Olympic. That's kept them out a few times, but Olympic going the other way. They've only had a handful of chances and have taken them all brilliantly, and are rewarded with a 3-1 lead. Another long ball over the top. They've found so much success with this tonight, and looking to start another positive attack here. Clark with an oncoming Zorasic. Lost his footing a little bit. Ball in at the back stick. And it's another one! Sydney Olympic are up 4-1! It is unbelievable scenes here. That's Ruiz Diaz burying his chance. He was wide open at the back stick. And 2 goals within 2 minutes. Sydney Olympic are up 4-1. What a sensational first half for Sydney Olympic. One of the better 45 minutes we've seen them in an attacking sense in a while. Confidence is high, momentum is with them. Sydney Olympic 4, Sutherland Sharks 1. So surprising, just after not scoring goalless in their last 2 games, and they've buried 4 in 35 minutes. Where's this been hiding from Sydney Olympic to start this season? The Sharks left scratching their heads. They can only sit and watch the Sydney Olympic just burying every chance they get. Almost lost for words, really. It's astonishing to see what's happening here. They've got quality players and talent, and their team on paper is sensational, Sydney Olympic, and they're finally showing the potential of a champion side that they can be. But the Sharks, don't count them out yet. They've got talent sprinkled across the park and showed flashes and had plenty of big chances denied already. And just under 10 minutes to go. They'd love to go into halftime with a goal or 2. Good header away there by Zorasic, but the touch is a little bit heavy from Seth Clark, and Peter Grossos outnumbered. Has to go back through Skitardis. Such an aggressive battle on the left side there, with Grossos, Zorasic, Shadimoto and Seth Clark all doing battle. Long ball over the top there from Skitardis, is looking to find Sullivan, unsuccessful, and Sydney Olympic the other way. It's worked so far, just long balls over the top as soon as they get it. They've found so much success in doing that, so why not keep doing it? wonder if this high press from the Sharks is paying dividends or not. They've had a few chances where they've forced Olympic to cough up possession, but for the most part, Sydney Olympic have seemed to neutralise it as Tang Kuo won the challenge there, but not by the letter of the law. Another free kick the way of the Sharks, taken very quickly. Out wide now, Susovic. Katsuta back to the right winger, who's drifted centrally for the time being. Katsuta, for the first time this game, had a bit of space and decided to take the defence on, but they were first to it. Now the Sharks opening up this attack through the middle. Just a bit of space pushed forward there by the midfield engine of Skataris and Katsuta. Very contrasting defensive styles from both sides. Sydney Olympic happy to sit back and let the Sharks come at them, whereas the Sharks trying to confine the visitors to their own half, essentially. Good ball over the top. Great flick on. First time volley. That could have been something special. Just a bit wide in the end there. What a goal that would have been. Sullivan's flick on. And Jordan Roberts rarely would see a chance like that pop up to him. Dummy play there. Quick early one. Out and possession coughed up. Susovic, nice little turn to keep that one back, and another free kick the way of the Sharks. Quick little triangle 1-2 play here. Long overlapping border, Roberts. First to it was Ian Gordon. Now the other way, Cyrus Deme. We've seen what he can do with even half an inch of space, but sandwiched by two Sharks defenders. Enough to neutralise the number 9 for the time being. Grossos. To Adimoto. Long ball over the top, first time, thought about it. He's going to comfortably play it back. Adimoto again, almost a pseudo-central midfielder at the left-back position. Petratus's ball cleared away first time by O'Toole. And a deep throw in for the Sharks. Bouncing in the corner and looking for one. Are they going to get it? Yes, they are. 8th of the first half for the Sharks. Sydney Olympic yet to register one. Ball in directly at the front stick and cleared away pretty easily by Deme, who's keen to get onto the end of this. Zoricic fulfills his request. And Umabache knew what he had to do there. Cleared it first time. With Deme crawling at him as almost had a double falcon there. Spectator in the stands, unfortunately hit in the head by that, and as the ball went back into play, Steve Zorich almost hit. That would have been, as they say, a bit of insult to injury for Steve Zorich. A bit of salt in the wounds, just a nice little falcon to end his first half. Good win back there by Michael Haddon, and Quoll goes down, but Seth Clark manages to win it back, but off balance, gives the ball away, but Olympic will get away with one there. Grossos has got through some work on this left side, and you can see why he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for Steve Zorich. Just gets through a mountain of work. Now taking it forward is O'Toole, and a first-time ball. Ruiz Diaz will work his hardest to get to that. Shielded away, and a throw in the way of the Sharks. Now, possession one back in the middle of the park. It's topsy-turvy. The final 60 seconds of regulation here in the first half. As the fourth official puts his board up to indicate injury time. 2 minutes of additional time in this first half. Katsuta out of a bit of trouble with some nice footwork. Here he is again, playing it across as they look to switch it and go forward. They've favoured this left side for much of the night. First time ball over the top from Sullivan. Finds Susovic, who's drifted in centrally again as Roberts takes his position out wide. Edge of the box now, Susovic goes for it. Probably didn't get underneath it as much as he wanted, and it dribbles past the front stick. And a goal kick for the visitors, Sydney Olympic. Both sides lining up pretty similarly, and it just seems like the defensive structure is what's given Olympic a boost so far. Just the way they set up, especially defending set pieces. They've had a bit of trouble when they're not first to it, but when they are, they've got so much pace going forward and attacking spark that the scoreline reflects that. Nunizic barking out instructions to his defensive line. Would hate to concede a fifth before the end of the half. Long ball in and headed into a bit of danger. Tanquol's already got one goal to his name. 50-50 challenge goes the way of Olympic, and Gordon goes first time. Well over the bar. Grabbing a leg there is Nicholas Sullivan, who came on in the 7th minute for Daniel Wong, and just more injury and selection headaches for Steve Zorich if this is to be serious for Sullivan. Looks to be alright, as doesn't seem to be any substitutes warming up as well, which is always a good sign when a player goes down. We should have the end of the first half just moments away now. So the Sharks will look to have to do it with 10 men for a little bit. Sullivan in a bit of treatment, and pretty good time to cop a bit of a nick. 15 minutes of half time to get it sorted with the physio, but down to 10 won't help the Sharks' cause. Nizic didn't find the intended target there, but it's worked out good for the Sharks. One last chance, possibly. That's all she wrote for the first half. Standing ovation for Sydney Olympic here at Valentine Sports Park. They lead 4-1. Be sure to join us back here for the second half of action on this round 4 match of the round.
no. It's on the camera. To the focus camera. Yeah. Too close to the camera. I remember I've had it issue before.
Welcome back to Valentine Sports Park for the second half of the match of the round between the host Sutherland Sharks and Sydney Olympic. And if you're just tuning in, I'd highly suggest to go back and watch the first half, because it was an absolute banger of a opening 45 minutes. One of the better first halves of a game this season. Sutherland Sharks down 4-1. A bit unprecedented, must be said, as half-time substitution being made. Second substitution of the game for the Sharks. Dylan Susovic making way for Richard Shuaki, who will take his place on the right wing. And second half just about to get underway here. And Sydney Olympic took the lead about 2 minutes into the game, courtesy of a penalty. Cyrus Deme, who won the penalty, but it was Teng Kuo who missed the initial penalty shot. Great save by Daniel Nizic, but the follow-up buried his chance. That gave him a 1-0 lead, and then Deme on a counter-attack brilliantly buried his chance. The Sharks got one back in the 24th minute, thanks to Iko Arimoto. But it was all one-way traffic to end the first half. 2 goals in 2 minutes, one from Deme and Dylan Ruiz Diaz finishing their chances as that man on the ball again. Taken away. And another chance for Sydney Olympic. Great save by Nizic. And the clearance deflected away for a goal kick. And Sydney Olympic keeping the pressure on at the very early stages here. Tell you what, Sutherland Sharks could use a goal. Could use a goal from one of their former players, Mitch McClintock. One of the fan favourites of the Sutherland Sharks. Loves scoring goals, and they'd love to have his contribution to the team today. Made a couple of attacking substitutions to try and get a bit of a new spark up top. Obviously, Daniel Wong went down injured in the very early stages, and Nicholas Sullivan had to replace him, and now Shuiki given a bit of chance. 45 minutes to show what he can do. And now a first corner of the game for Sydney Olympic. The Sharks had 8 in the first half, and Sydney Olympic with their first crack at it here. And all the way in the furthest corner of the field, Olympics first chance to show what they've got, and a hesitant clearance there from Mumabachi. Still go the way of Sydney Olympic. Bounced a little bit too high. Try to control it with the thigh and just went away, but cleared away in the end. Looked like it was a double substitution from the Sharks at the half. Jordan Roberts making way after getting through plenty of work in that first half. It's Jacob Trezaglavic replacing him in the left back role. Here's Skatardis. Oh, possession coughed up pretty easily there. Jack Armson now. Space to move now is Deme. He's on a hat-trick. He got past Umabache at first, but the outstretched leg gives Sydney Olympic a corner. So second corner in quick succession from Sydney Olympic. We're looking for the short one at the edge of the 6-yard box. Didn't fall that way. Mickelhadden had a crack. Looked good to start with, but off balance. Misplaced his shot and into the bushes as Nizic cleans that one up for a goal kick. Bache. So Trezaglavic, sorry. Playing now at the left back role. It's almost seemed to have shifted into a back three from the Sharks by the looks of it. With Trezaglavic as the left-sided central defender. Peter Grossos dropping a little bit. Interesting to see how it plays out in tack. Throw taken quickly and high impact on that from Sullivan. Show and go. Trapped with 3 Olympic shirts around him. Manages to get out of it somehow. And the short ball probably wasn't expected by Shueki. And a foul in dangerous territory for the Sharks, it must be said, considering their track record of set pieces in the first half. Standing over this one, Skatadis. Skatadis, great ball in the middle, good header away in the end there by O'Toole. And now Cyrus Deme, you could hear the barks go Cyrus, because every time the set piece doesn't go the way of the Sharks, it almost every other time seemingly seems to go straight to Deme. And he's put this Sharks defence to the test in the first half, especially on the counter-attack. He's winning the battle so far. 2 goals to show for it and a penalty earned as well. An unofficial goal assist, if you will, as Jack Armson had to get past Umabache. Put it past him a little bit too hard. And the ball going back and forth in the middle here, and Olympic will get the foul. A couple of little push and shoves here. Might see a few cards issued. 10 quals on the ground. Everyone's in the middle of this one. Plenty to dissect here. Both benches up and about. So it was a good battle in the middle there, just going back and forth. A few physical challenges. Both sides probably not too happy with either of them getting away with it. Tensions boiled over a little bit. So the physio is going to go over and treat Quo, who's still been down this whole time, well over a minute now. A good chance for the Olympic to talk things over, which is what Labanot Haliti has done. It's a card issued there. That could be the end of his night. Things going from bad to worse. There's a yellow card issued to Zach Sorosic, but heading straight down the tunnel. It has been a nightmare day for the Sutherland Sharks. Katsuru Katsuta shown a straight red. And they lose a key part of the engine of the midfield. Steve Zorich's side. And straight back to it. Now Grossos goes for it. Went for the curling effort. Hit the wrong side of his boot. A bit of fight shown by the Sharks despite being reduced to 10 men. So Olympic already with a 3-goal lead. You wonder if they can expose that hole in the midfield that they've got now. They've shifted to a 3-3-3 almost, if you will. Not holding off in the attacking front, although it looks like Aramoto and Shuiki are gonna have to almost play as wing backs and wings at the same time. So plenty of work, which I'm sure they're not strangers to, especially Peter Grossos. Nickel Haddon, a little bit of miscommunication there. And you think with 11 men on the field, the Sharks probably pounce on that. Grossos and Petrados having to fall back a little bit and work a little bit more in the middle. As Cyrus Dame's onto this one. The bounce is just a little bit too heavy, and Daniel Nizic, the wise keeper, first to it, gets rid of that one immediately. O'Toole with a great header trying to spark a counter-attack, but the heavy push on the right saw no players on the left there for Sydney Olympic. They can sense it, they can smell water in the blood of the Sharks. No pun intended. Good little play here to get out of danger, but Cyrus Dame's got plenty of energy left in the tank, and he showed it there. Working back defensively. Harimoto. Long ball over the top, but they've just got the aerial advantage. Olympic in defense, and now a chance to go the other way. Seth Clark. Referee playing on for the time being. Ruiz Diaz goes for the low-driven shot, and Nizic's fingertips denies Sydney Olympic a 5th goal. Laminot Haliti pleading his case, but didn't look like the referee officially waved the advantage sign, but could have worked out well for Olympic. Still could, in all fairness. Their 3rd corner of the game. Haven't opted to go for the direct cross route from all 3 of their corners so far. Basically all of them have landed with Nickel Adden, and that cross a little bit too deep. Nizic will comfortably collect that one. Play it out wide now with Takahide Umbache. And if you ever wanted the definition of show and go, you just seen it there from Jerry Skatadas. Skatadas looks up, doesn't hesitate to play that one. First time through. Grossos. Good win there by Gordon. An even better win there as Olympic go the other way. First time ball. Looking to find Seth Clark. It was from Armson, but Nizic, the high-lying keeper, first to it again. Jack Armson, great first time ball on the half volley. Looks to be walking a bit gingerly as well, so wonder if he'll be first off the pitch for Sydney Olympic. Ball taken across, and Arimoto deals with it, but as will play a big factor in the rest of this final half an hour, the Sharks being down to 10 men, just not able to push numbers forward and go for a counter-attack, as that's a beautiful ball by Mickelhaden. Out wide to find Zach Sorosic. First time effort, just wide. If that was on target, the net is left bulging. Great shot there by Ruiz Diaz. He's looked lively in attack for Sydney Olympic, the former Central Coast Mariner. Found a nice little home here at Sydney Olympic to hit the hour mark here. Half an hour to go, 6 minutes to go in the other game. The Marconi Stallions up 1-0 against the St. George Saints. And could this be a costly turnover? Deme tried to find Qual. Didn't work out, and the Sharks the other way. Has to release it quickly now to Grossos. Turn and foul by Mickelhaden. And just a little calm down suggested there by Vitsakovic. Evaluating his options, Zahmed tried to find Grossos, but again, that aerial advantage that Olympic have had in defence is just rearing its head, especially in the second half, down a man, as Grossos holding the shirt of Connor O'Toole and almost reluctantly just accepted his fate. A little smile, a little playful banter between the two sides, which is good to see. Now Tenquol just got so much time on the ball now. Such a difference that red card makes. Mickelhaden long ball through to Deme, who tried to play the 1-2 with Jack Armson, who looked for the tactical foul to stop this attack, which surprising considering the numerical advantage that Sydney Olympic possess. Grossos, good touch, thought about it. Waits for his troops in support, and possession's going to be coughed up in the end. Not wasting any time was Johnny Gridich to get rid of that one, but in turn gave possession back to the Sharks. Good first time ball to Petrados from Arimoto, but possession comfortably won back there by Mickelhaden. And a little coverage shift there at right back. Zach Sorosic eager to get forward with the extra man. Good ball. First time it was from Seth Clark. O'Toole finds the back stick. Was almost trying to find the back stick where Ruiz Diaz was open, and that's how he scored Sydney Olympics fourth. But Nizic the wiser gets to it first. Now Grossos cuts in, had the run of Arimoto, and left side almost abandoned for now for the Sharks. Skatadis playing a dangerous game, but big rewards come from that. Not this time, but going the right way about it, the Sharks. Goal kick for Sydney Olympic. So is this a sign of things to come possibly for Sydney Olympic, a team that's only managed just one win from their first 3 games, although wasn't the worst of performances in that draw. 0-0 draw with the Wollongong Wolves, who have proven themselves to be a top-tier contender this year, as the free kick goes the way of Sydney Olympic again. Obviously got their season off on the right track with a win against St. George FC, and then a 1-0 loss to the Western Sydney Wanderers, followed by that 0-0 draw with the Wolves last week in that made-up game on a Wednesday night. after a bit of a strong thunderstorm delayed that last Sunday. And then if you look at the Sharks, staring down the barrel, their first defeat of the season. 2 wins and a draw to start off. Obviously that draw, the 2-1 to Sydney United. Corner given away, Sydney Olympic. Their 4th of the season, the 4th of the second half, I should say. Corner taken short and quickly again. Clark, the edge, Quoll, dummy, Mickelhadden, back over the top. What a set play from Sydney Olympic. They are running amok at Valentine Sports Park. It is 5-1. A sensational 1-2 play there, all set up by the captain. Take a bow. You could just see it coming as well. As soon as the ball popped up in the air, you almost knew that was going to be the back of the net. And Sydney Olympic lead 5-1. It was Quoll with a beautiful dummy. And Mickelhadden's ball over the top. Just waiting to confirm the goal scorer there, but sensational finish nonetheless. And Olympic right back on the attack as Abinor Haliti looking to make a sub. Get a few of his players off, give him an early night, not risking any injuries to add to that pretty expansive list of injuries to start with. Now another chance for Ruiz Diaz. Goes early. Nizic, fantastic save. And the Sharks are under the pump here. Sydney Olympic threatening for a 6th goal here. Ruiz Diaz. Good bit of intuitive play there. Most strikers would have went across the face of the goal, but with the attack, the defender, close quarters, blocking off the view of the front post there from Nizic. Almost snuck it past there, and it might have taken a slight little tick off the front stick there, but nonetheless, it's a corner for Sydney Olympic. Possibly another one straight from the training ground here. Good ball in, bouncing away, and Ziggy Gordon, is he going to have a crack? Looks to give it to Deme for a hat-trick possibly. Gordon wins it back, sliding in as Deme's shot rolls into the back of the net. It won't count though, as Ziggy Gordon lunged in to give his side another chance there in the box. But giving away a foul in the end and issued a yellow card as well. So confirming that was Dylan Ruiz Diaz burying the 5th goal of the game and his 2nd. The player getting off the mark today as a double substitution looking to be lined up by Sydney Olympic. And it looks like possibly DiPizio Yet DiPizio will be one of the substitutes to come on. As two will be Bailey Callahan as the Sharks. With an early corner, aerial effort. Credit where credit's due. Need something special and trying to whip that out. No easy feat. Well wide of the target in the end. It's the double substitution now for the Sharks. Or for Sydney Olympic, I should say. So DiPizio will be replacing Teng Kuo as Seth Clark also sees his final actions of the game done. Solid effort from both players. Teng Kuo opened the scoring. Has been key in igniting those counter-attacks. DiPizio will take his spot and Seth Clark's spot on the right wing. Now in the hands of Bailey Callahan. Now another chance with the cross at the back stick, a little bit too far and a foul in the box. Probably worked out better for Olympic in the end there as Ruiz Diaz kicks the ball away and finds the back of the net for an unofficial hat-trick, if you will. So full tie between Marconi and St. George Saints. Under Yona in the 85th minute, equalising that, and much needed point for the Saints against last season's champions, the Marconi Stallions. So although it is very early stages, only majority of the league playing 4 games so far, the Spirit leading the way at top, 4 games, 4 wins. And they are shortly followed by the Marconi Stallions, the only 2 sides yet to lose. Sydney Olympic with this win will skyrocket into 3rd as Sutherland will drop down to 5th with Rockdale Linden in 4th as well, and the Wollongong Wolves in 6th, rounding out the final spots for the time being. Obviously so much football still to play, cup competitions and all. Now back to the action here. Cyrus Deme. Oh, sensational work there. Tony Gridich. Round of applause, and rightfully so. DiPizio with his first say on the game. Zorosic, quick flick pass on. Can they make it 6 here? And the outstretched leg, Mo Ahmed, preventing what would have been an open goal for Jack Armson, essentially. A little heavy touch, back in the middle again, looking for Armson. And on the cleanup crew, Skatardis, first to it. Long throw into the box. Deme almost got on the end of that backwards header. The possession will remain with Olympic, with Gordon picking this one up for a throw. Those bouncing headers have been a bit of a problem for the Sharks defence all night, and Zamai has been the beneficiary of that. Possibly another substitution in the works here for Sydney Olympic with just under 15 minutes to go. The Sharks also have a couple subs to use. O'Toole Edge of the box now is Armson, urged to shoot. Instead it's Ruiz Diaz on a hat-trick. Deflected away. And another corner for Sydney Olympic. Just an interesting side note of this game. Sydney Olympic 6 corners in the second half. None in the first, and the Sharks with 8 in the first half and just 1 in the second half. So such as the momentum of this game shifts, that little stat just pointing towards that. There's a floating cross, not dealt with entirely. Ruiz Diaz wants his hat-trick. Neutralised for the time being. Zoricic back out wide. Low cross in, flicked across the face of goal, but out for a goal kick. I think a bit of debate there possibly from Zoricic as to who got the final touch there, but that'll be his final play of the game. Zoricic coming off, and he'll be replaced by Josh Hong at right back. Taking his time to clear this one is Daniel Nizic. And probably justified considering the quality of that ball. And now gifting the Sharks a chance to attack. Skatardis gets past one, can't get past the second, which is DePizio. And now Ruiz Diaz with space to go. Looks out wide, it's Callahan. Goes for it, Bailey Callahan off the post. And he falls to his knees in utter disbelief, much like most of the crowd here. Couldn't believe that one didn't find the back of the net. Just rocketed off center of the post. You pretty rarely see those ones as well. And a lucky break for the Sharks. Really could have been 6 there for Sydney Olympic. Long ball doesn't go to plan. And Olympic, they're hungry for a 6. Very motivated to continue the barrage of goals here at Valentine Sports Park, the home of Football New South Wales. Mikkel Haddon's run intercepted by Peter Grossos. Turns 1 and 2 and just plays it out wide as they look to reset. They haven't had much of the ball the last 10 minutes or so, the Sharks, so need to keep it while they can and look to build something. Commentators curse strikes there. Good intercept by DePizio. Plays it inside. Ruiz Diaz touches heavy. Almost gets past Nizic. A bit of a mix-up there between defender and keeper. Nizic still remaining on the ground, as is Ruiz Diaz. Both players down, looking worse for wear. Give us a quick break in play. Both players looking okay. Nizic has gone down a few times this game, to be fair, and just comes off his line so often to be that last line of defence. Does cop a couple hits here and there. It's the pros and cons of the job. So if you're looking for more action tomorrow, our final game of the round, 3 p.m. tomorrow, an absolute cracker. Blacktown City taking on Apia Leichhardt. Team that finished first last year and against the team that fell just short at the second last hurdle in Blacktown City. New look for both sides. Lost a couple of big experienced players in the off-season, a couple of which featuring here today. So tune in from 3 p.m. tomorrow for that. So possession getting back underway. Nizic still looks a bit ginger, but he's going to have to continue. First time effort, DePizio. Sorry, Armson deflected back into traffic. Callahan's ball bounces and it's cleared away pretty quickly. Nickel Haddon restarting things and got a few more numbers behind the ball now, Olympic. First time ball to Callahan, dealt with by Arimoto. Had a throw for Sydney Olympic. Quick little 1-2, try to find Tamai. But Olympic just with this massive advantage, able to keep 3 back at all times essentially, and both wing backs with full license to go forward in the pursuit of more goals. Armson turns one, can't turn the second. Just Sullivan dispossesses him of the ball. A slight little mix up again there at the back, and Nizic can't mess around, doesn't look too pleased as he coughs possession back up unwillingly to the visitors. 9 minutes to go here. Long ball by DePizio. Damai, great touch. Went for the chip and just didn't catch all of it. That would have been a spectacular third goal for the number 9 for Sydney Olympic. Well, Grozos waited for the ball to come to him, was looking for the turn, but O'Toole now with plenty of pace to burn. O'Toole all the way down the byline, forces a good save by Nizic. And the Sharks a chance to set something of their own up in acres of space. Out on the left, Petrados, if they can get the ball to him. Mohamed Momachi. Assessing his options, Ahmed. Just decides to play it back to his keeper. Nizic launches one forward, but pretty easily dealt with there by Grudic. Nickel Haddon. Quick little touch and go. Now back with Grudic. Jack Armson, who as part of Arpia's setup was almost a shadow striker, but a bit more of a deep line playmaker this game. He's only had a couple goes at goal. And here's a chance for the number 10. Look to curl it into the top of the net. Deflected away. And Sydney Olympic get their 7th corner of the game. Armson has the option short of Ruiz Diaz if he wants, and he opts to go that way. Back to Armson. DePizio. Almost lost possession, but good ball. DeMike goes for it. He's hungry for the hat trick. Seen the side of goal and just lofted it over the target. So that ball probably will never come back. Went pretty high up in the trees. Wouldn't have wanted to park your car behind that one. Great little pass by DiPizio, who's had plenty of say on this game since replacing Tang Kuo. Grossos out wide. Harimoto calling for it, but Ziggy Gordon heads it away. Harimoto again, he's cleaned up, and it's going to go the other way. Sydney Olympic winning that one. Sam Mickelhaden in the thick of the action there, the captain. DiPizio pushing the pace. Out wide, Ruiz Diaz, great first touch. Plays it to the back stick. It's Callahan who gets ahead to it. And a goal kick in the end. Not happy is the Sydney Olympic men. Not much they can do about that, unfortunately, with 4.5 minutes to play. Attention quickly turning back the way of Sydney Olympic. Goal kick from Nizic went short, and Demai quickly became the beneficiary of it. Caught us all off guard, to be fair, as Sydney Olympic are going to be substituting a keeper here for no injury or tactical reasons by the look of it, possibly just giving Monty Partington a chance. A bit of first grade minutes. Sydney Olympic line up this corner. Can they find a 6th goal? Short one again. Armson latches onto it. A little bit too much on that one, and it's going to dribble out for a throw-in for the Sharks. As you don't see this every day. Goalkeeper coming off. Ben Gibson makes way. Does look a bit ginger, to be fair, so it could be a injury replacement. Or Jack Gibson, I should say. Comes off. And it's Partington. Monty Partington in goals. A little 1-2 play here. Ruiz Diaz wants his hat trick. Deflected away, but back into the path of the other man on 2 goals. Demai. Nothing comes from it, however. And it's back with the Sharks. Ruiz Diaz. Looked to have copper deflection back into the body. Looks a bit winded there. It's a good day. 2 goals. 2 great goals on the volley both times. Long ball again from Nizic. First to it was O'Toole, and Mickelhaden pushed in the back. Referee calls a foul there, and another little push and shove. So now with just under 60 seconds of regulation to play, Olympic haven't cooled off in their pursuit of another goal. And the Sharks staring down the barrel of their first defeat of the season. Armson, great ball out wide. O'Toole, that's great defensive work and tracking back there. Good hustle. The game's essentially dead and buried. You love to see those hustle plays. Trezaglavic. Armson trying to play it through to Demai. Way too much on that, however. Demai, we never get into that. Nizic cleans it up comfortably as 3 minutes of injury time. Nizic just rolling this one up the pitch, and no Olympic players seem to be interested in it. Finally getting action back underway here. 2.5 minutes to go of injury time. Arimoto, heavy touch, has to go back to Nizic. All over the top, diffused by Gordon and back down by Ruiz Diaz. DePizio has got calls from the right side to play it. Switching it across now to Armson in the middle. And thought about the crossfield switch there. Ruiz Diaz cooled off on his pursuits for a hat-trick. Deep lying, he's gone through a mountain of work, I'm sure. His legs will be sore tomorrow. Demai tries to pay one back to Armson, but first to it was Umabachi. And the pressure's still on for Olympic. Just under 90 seconds to go to find a sixth. Did score 6 against Sydney United last year. An unfamiliar scoreline for them, despite the new faces. Demai turns, dispossessed. Grossos still working hard, wants to get onto this and does. Good touch by Shueki. Arimoto now pushing forward. Can't fall asleep yet, Sydney Olympic. There's still fight in this Shark side. Back heel doesn't go to plan, and referee somewhat playing the advantage there, but Olympic the other way now. Tamai is calling for it very early. Out wide, the switch from Mikkel Haddon to Ruiz Diaz. Another great first touch from the left winger. O'Toole's forward, but the foul given a bit too early. Jerry Skatadis not given a card, but Sydney Olympic walk away with a 5-1 victory. Tengquol scored the first one. Then it was Cyrus Demai with a double. Dylan Ruiz Diaz finalised the scoring in the first half with a volley, and then it was another volley in the second half to make it 5. Arimoto was the goal scorer for the Sutherland Sharks, but that will be without Katsuta next week, who suffered a straight red card. But it was a sensational game, plenty of action throughout for our match of the round for round 4 in the 2025 NPL New South Wales men's competition. Thanks for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Be sure to come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Up Your Leichhardt and Bankstown City. But until then, thank you for joining us.